Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Bring this one. Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, thank you for participating joining this beautiful session of Bhagavad Gita, the most confidential knowledge that Lord Krishna, our sweet Lord, revealing himself. Not only that, he was in ecstasy, describing further about himself. I'm sure you all have experienced that when someone is very excited to reveal his own self, own pastimes. Similarly, Krishna also very excited to reveal, and we should be excited also to receive, like Arjuna. So we will begin today with the text 10 chapter, text 4, and you have the, how many we did? Until finish 12 now. 8, 9, 10, 11, up to 12. Okay. I need 12 devotees to read one by one. So if you can just voluntarily mention your name after we finish the prayers, Pushpanjali, I would appreciate. So whoever is already here and others are coming, please join together. And we are going to offer flowers to our Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, all the way to Shri Radha Krishna. So put yourself, you are traveling with your Guru Maharaj, and first you are welcoming your Gurudev in your heart, in your life, garlanding him, offering some flower and paying obeisances. Then we'll go to one by one as we chant the mantras. So please join together. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanitam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Danta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Pancha Kalpa Taruvesha Kripa Sindhu Vacham Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo 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 Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Amne Gauratishi Namah Panchatatmatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktaksham Namami Bhakta Saktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vrindaye Tulasi Devaye. Priyaye Keshavasya Cha. Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi. Sattavate Namo Namo. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. So I would like to hear the names one by one. Who would like to read? I need 12 devotees, Matajis and Prabhus. 14.
Prabhuji. I will read, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, Ram Sam Prabhu. Or Mother Aditi Lata Devi Dasi. You have to do quick.
Satya Prabhu. I will sing, Prabhu. I will read, Prabhu.
Sapta Devata Prabhu. If I did not utter your name, means I'm missing. Brihadnath Das.
Hare Krishna.
Mother Subhasini Padma Devi.
Hare Krishna, please note my name.
Mother Apurva Shakti Devi Dasi.
Mukta Sangadas.
Hare Krishna Das. Lakshay. Put Bamandev Prabhu also. His name was there yesterday, but he could not read.
Yes, I wanted to say thank you.
If I did not utter your name, please repeat that. I'm sorry.
Gautam.
Gautam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Lakshay. Lakshay Prabhu. Yeah. You got enough? 14? Okay, a few more. How many need more? No?
Oh, you can write on my name.
There was already so many names. So you got 9. You needed 14. 5 more. 5 more.
Can you write down Kevalya Das Prabhu?
Kevalya Das. 4 more.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Nikunj Leela Devi Dasi.
Nikunja Leela Devi Dasi. 3 more.
Archana Dasi Prabhuji.
Archana Dasi. 2 more. I see 36 already participated. I need 2 more who did not read also. It's anybody, anyone, as long as you can read. 2 more.
There will be other people who will be joining probably soon. Probably then we will get.
Okay, so leave it like this. So thank you so much. Let me have the list so I can call out. Bamandev Prabhu, you can start with text 3. But before that, I want to just refresh where we are. That today we should focus, hopefully we'll arrive there. When God is both great and sweet. Everybody can hear me, right? God is both great and sweet. When we focus or evoke the greatness or say we discuss about awe and reverence, opulent aspect of God, then it will evoke our submission easy. More opulence we understand about God, our submission, surrender will be easy. He controls me to speak. He controls you to hear. Try to understand all kind of aspect that what Krishna literally does. It will evoke our submission. When we hear sweetness, his loving relationship, Brajavashi's love, then it evokes our affection for him. Can somebody say quickly, do we need affection or submission? Or both?
Both. Both.
Okay. What will happen if we only focus on sweetness? I just love to hear the pastime. I don't need philosophy, just, just pastime. Sweetness only I'm looking for. Is that okay?
No, we need to have affection also to reciprocate, to give, to serve him.
Well, sweetness will evoke affection. But is that enough? I'm asking.
No.
Oh, Krishna. Please write it down. None of you answering. Without submission, only shooting for affection or sweetness will cause you to become sahajiyas. Sahajiyas are condemned to actually relish the pure Krishna consciousness. On the other hand, if we only focus opulence, greatness, majestic aspect, like this chapter, next chapter, but not evoking or discussing or focusing any loving relationship, how sweet it is, we are not evoking affection, we may turn into impersonalism or just, okay, I like God, but I really don't feel like to do anything. Everybody is with me? This is a very crucial point. So we are not focusing only one, we are focusing both. But there is a little gradation. First is submission. But submission also has to back up by the pastimes. That's why Prabhupada wrote Krishna book. The whole 9 volumes of books, all philosophy mostly. Philosophy, just to remove our dirt from the heart. But then Prabhupada wrote Krishna book, all talking about loving relationship, how or what God does, how he live, how he reciprocate with the devotee. So everybody understand, we need both. We need affection and submission. But submission has to follow by affection, not affection first and submission we don't care. Because you know why? Submission require examination your own heart. Sometimes you may not let it go, something you are so attached. Pig loves stool. I don't think any one of you, I mean, unless Krishna wants you, will be able to convince pig that stool is not a good food. It's almost impossible. So sense gratification, we're not against sense gratification. Please try to understand this. We're not against sense gratification. We want purified senses serving Krishna, and that sense gratification, because we have senses also eternally. The Brajavashi, they are always drowned into happiness. That is also sense gratification, but it's pure spiritual sense gratification. Those who condemns, I can tell you, I generally don't like Buddhism, they condemn this. You pay $500 Los Angeles, and you go and sit against the wall. I went one time. I didn't pay, luckily, because they allowed me. I was teaching Bhakti Yoga. Otherwise, I would feel guilty to pay $500. And they whip you every few minutes. How is your desire coming? And you have to become desireless. Such a bogus, because people see that they suffer because of the desire, but they do not know that it's impossible to become desire zero. Impossible. You can shift your desire from material to spiritual. That's all. Desire is a part of us eternally. Okay, so this chapter we are doing, we are combining greatness with sweetness. It's very high, very nice. So please take advantage of it. Don't overlook this chapter. This is, we need this chapter, next chapter, because we need both greatness and sweetness, and this is actually combined here. Lord Krishna is out of his ecstasy, he is expressing this. So as we mentioned there other day, that Arjuna's, this 10th chapter started with Arjuna did not ask any question. Everybody remember that, I hope. Krishna is in ecstasy. While speaking Bhakti Yoga, he did not need any question to proceed further. So 1 to 7 in this chapter, total 42 texts, 1 to 7, I said that generally nobody knows Krishna, though he is the source of all. That is going to be revealed. And 8 to 11, which is most important, I really beg all of you, you have to memorize those 4 slokas. You have no choice. Those 4 slokas actually the essence of entire Bhagavad Gita. 8, 9, 10, 11. And hopefully we'll go all the way up to 18. And then tomorrow no class, and then Monday we'll finish the Vibhutis, the Krishna will reveal, 19 to 42. So without delay, we'll start with, is this okay? Text 4 to 5. There is a Ramshem Prabhu going to, no, Bamandev Prabhu going to start, then Ramshem Prabhu, then Aditi Mother Aditi Lata, and then Satyadevata Prabhu. All will be reading the same sloka, 4 to 5, because it has a 5 pages. So 1 page each person. Otherwise it will be too much pressure. So we'll start with Bamandev Prabhu, the sloka translation, and you go few paragraph, first page, and then Ramshem Prabhu next page, Mother Aditi Lata Devidasi next page, and Satyadevata Prabhu next page. So we did Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Please chant before that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nasta Prayesu
Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Vaishnavi Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangulangayate Girim Yakripatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Paramananda Madhavam. Okay, Bamandev Prabhu, please begin.
Hare Krishna. We start with text 3,
No, 4.
4, 5. Yes.
We finished 3. Yes.
Text 4. Buddhir Jnana Shama Satyam Dhamma Shama Sukham Dukkam Bhava Vayam Shabayam Evacha Ahimsa Samata Tushtis Tapodanam Yaso Yasya Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam Matta Eva Prityagvida. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy, all these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. Purport by Prabhupada. The different qualities of living entities, be they good or bad, they are all created by Krishna, and they are described here. Intelligence refers to the power to analyze things in their proper perspective, and knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. Ordinary knowledge obtained by a university education pertains only to matter, and it is not accepted here as knowledge. Knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter. In modern education, there is no knowledge about spirit. They are simply taking care of the material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. Asammoha, freedom from doubt and delusion, can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when he understands the transcendental philosophy. Slowly but surely he becomes free from bewilderment. Nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and with caution. Kshama, tolerance and forgiveness should be practiced. One should be tolerant and excuse the minor offenses of others. Satyam, truthfulness, means that facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Facts should not be misrepresented. According to social conventions, it is said that one can speak the truth only when it is palatable to others, but that is not truthfulness. The truth should be spoken in a straightforward way so that others will understand actually what the facts are. If a man is a thief, and if people are warned that he is a thief, that is true. Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Truthfulness demands that the facts be presented as they are for the benefit of others. That is the definition of truth. Control of the senses means that the senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. There is no prohibition against meeting the proper needs of the senses, but unnecessary sense enjoyment is detrimental for spiritual advancement. Therefore, the senses should be restrained from unnecessary use. Similarly, one should restrain the mind from unnecessary thoughts. That is called shama. One should not spend one's time pondering over earning money. That is a misuse of the thinking power. The mind should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings, and that should be presented authoritatively. The power of thought should be developed in association with persons who are authorities in the scriptures, saintly persons and spiritual masters. Sukham, pleasure of happiness, should always be in that which is favorable for the cultivation of the spiritual knowledge of Krishna consciousness, and similarly, that which is painful or which causes distress is that which is unfavorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Anything favorable for the development of Krishna consciousness should be accepted, and anything unfavorable should be rejected.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Ram Sam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Bhava.
One second, Ramshan Prabhu. Bhamande Prabhu, what do you take? You read many key points. Can you give me one? What is knowledge means? You just read in the beginning. Knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter. So means modern knowledge, because they are not aware of the spirit, they do not have real knowledge. One may be PhD, but that doesn't mean he has pure knowledge. So this is good. Okay. Thank you. Ram Sam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Bhava, birth, should be understood to refer to the body. As far as the soul is concerned, there is neither birth nor death. That we have discussed in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Birth and death apply to one's embodiment in the material world. Fear is due to worrying about the future. A person in Krishna consciousness has no fear because by his activity, he is sure to be back to the spiritual sky, back to home, back to Godhead. Therefore, his future is very bright. Others, however, do not know that what their future holds. They have no knowledge of what the next life holds. So they are therefore in constant anxiety. If we want to get free from anxiety, then the best course is to understand Krishna and be situated always in Krishna consciousness. In that way, we will be free from fear. We will be free from all fear. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.37, it is stated, Vayam Dvitiya Vinisesataha Satyat. Fear is caused by our absorption in the illusory energy. But those who are free from the illusory energy, those who are confident that they are not the material body, that they are a spiritual part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who are therefore engaged in the transcendental service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, have nothing to fear. Their future is very bright. This fear is a condition of person who are not in Krishna consciousness. Abhayam, fearlessness, is possible only for one in Krishna consciousness. Ahimsa, non-violence, means that one should not do anything which will put others into misery or confusion. Material activity that are promised by so many politicians, sociologists, philanthropists, etc., do not produce very good result because the politicians and philanthropists have no transcendental vision. They do not know that they do not know what is actually beneficial for human society. Ahimsa means that the people should be trained in such a way that the full utilization of the human body can be achieved. The human body meant for a spiritual realization. So any movement or any commission which do not further that end commit violence on the human body, that which furthers the future spiritual happiness of the people in general, is called non-violence. Samata, equanimity, refers to the freedom from the attachment and aversion. To the very much attached or to very much detached is not the best. This material world should be accepted without attachment or aversion. That which is favorable for prosecuting Krishna consciousness should be accepted. That which is unfavorable should be rejected. That is called samatha, equanimity. A person in Krishna consciousness has nothing to reject and nothing to accept, save in terms of the usefulness in the prosecution of the Krishna consciousness. Tushti, satisfaction, means that one should not be eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activity. One should be satisfied with whatever he obtained by the grace of the Supreme Lord. That is called satisfaction. Tapas means austerity or penance. There are many rules and regulations in the Vedas which apply here, like rising early in the morning and taking a bath. Sometimes it is very troublesome to rise early in the morning, but whatever voluntarily trouble one may suffer in this way is called penance. Similarly, there are prescriptions for fasting on certain days of the month. One may not be inclined to practice such fasting, but because of his determination to take advantage in the science of Krishna consciousness, he should accept such bodily trouble when they are recommended. However, one should not fast unnecessarily or against Vedic injunctions. One should not fast for some political purpose. That is described in Bhagavad Gita as fasting is ignorance, and anything done in ignorance or passion does not lead to a spiritual advancement. Everything done in the mode of goodness does advance one. However, and fasting done in terms of the Vedic injunction enriches one in a spiritual knowledge. As far as the charity is concerned, one should give 50% of his earnings to some good cause. And what is the good cause? It is that which is concluded in terms of Krishna consciousness. That is not only a good cause, but the best cause. Because Krishna is good. He is cause in all goods. Thus, charity should be given to a person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness. According to the Vedic literature, it is enjoined that charity should be given to a Brahmanas. This practice is still followed, although not very nicely in terms of the Vedic injunction. But still, the injunction is that charity should be given to the Brahmanas. Why? Because they are engaged in a higher cultivation of a spiritual knowledge. A Brahmana is supposed to be devote his whole life to understand Brahman. Brahma Jnanati Brahmana. One should know Brahman is called Brahmana. Thus, charity is offered to the Brahmanas because they are always engaged in higher spiritual service and have no time to earn their livelihood. In the Vedic literature, charity is also to be awarded to one who is renounced order of life, the Sannyasi. The Sannyasi beg from door to door, not for money, but for missionary purpose. The system is that they go from door to door to awaken the householders from the slumber to ignorance. because the householders are engaged in family affairs and have forgotten their actual purpose in life, awakening their Krishna consciousness. It is the business for the sannyasi to go as beggar to the householder and encourage them to the Krishna consciousness. As it is said in the Vedas, one should awake and achieve what is due him in his human form of life. This knowledge and method is distributed by sannyasis. Hence, charity is to be given to the renounced order of life, to the brahmanas and similar good causes, not to any whimsical cause.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Mother Aditi Lata Devidasi. Oh, just one second. Ramsham Prabhu, what is the fear means? Where the fear coming from? You just read.
Fear coming like to worry about the future, to collect more and more, to,
No. That's not exactly what Prabhupada expressed. You have to spend little more time. We are reading very quick, and because we have a course to finish. But actually, you need to spend that verse you quoted. Bhayam ditya viniveshatasya. Ishat apitasya viparjaya smriti. The moment you have misused your free will to turn away from Krishna, there was no secondary world, but the secondary world appeared. The moment you misuse free will, turn away from Krishna, secondary world appear. What does that mean? You don't see any more connection with Krishna.
Yeah.
And the fear took birth. Everybody remember where fear originally coming from? The fear took birth from that spot where you misuse your free will and turn away from Krishna. So to see everything connected with Krishna, fear will disappear. Otherwise, fear will stay forever. I hope you remember, you have to apply in your life this. Try to see everything is connected. And you can read in 11th canto this verse, beautiful explanation. Itself is 2 hours class, that verse. Okay. Mother Aditi Lata, please.
Is that, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is that the secondary point we can take either this one also? Prabhupada Maharaj mentioned in the 3rd line of that bhava.
Correct. Correct.
Fear is due to worrying about the future.
Yes. After misuse of the free will, we turn away from Krishna. That is the birthplace of fear. Then everything started one by one. Worry, anxiety, always shortage. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am.
Ramchand Prabhu's book is 2 pages is equal to 1 page. I think he read 2 pages. I don't know where he stopped. He stopped only last para is pending, right?
Mataji,
Yeah,
yes.
it's okay, Mata. Go ahead.
Yes,
Which
yes.
one? I should start from
Jashaha. Jashaha, fame.
Yashas. Yes. Yash's fame should be according to Lord Chaitanya, who said that a man is famous when he is known as a great devotee. That is real fame. If one has become a great man in Krishna consciousness and it is known, then he is truly famous. One who does not have such fame is infamous. All these qualities are manifest throughout the universe, in human society, and in the society of the demigods. There are many forms of humanity on other planets, and these qualities are there. Now, for one who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness, Krishna creates all these qualities, but the person develops them himself from within. One who engages in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord develops all the good qualities as arranged by the Supreme Lord. Of whatever we find, good or bad, the origin of Krishna, nothing can manifest itself in this material world which is not in Krishna. That is knowledge. Although we know that things are differently situated, we should realize that everything flows from Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Very good. So, Satyadevata Prabhu, please prepare for 6. In the meantime, we can just refresh what we just read. 4 plus 5 in this chapter, Krishna told, I'll tell you supreme knowledge. Second verse, Krishna said, actually, even demigod and rishis don't know me. If you refresh your memory from yesterday. And third verse, Krishna said that who will come to me? They will come, they will become free from sin. It's very nice, very unique the way Krishna put it. Now Krishna will describe in here more about himself. He will explain how he is the origin of everything. See if you can catch it when Satyadevata Prabhu read. See if you can catch that in the translation, and that how Krishna is the origin. And he's the origin of everything. Also, even the abstract quality in this world, there are living and non-living things. There are conceptions, existence at physical level, existence at subtle level. The qualities that are there, Krishna describes that various qualities which are there, they also come from him, which is described in this verse. Okay, now we're going to do 7, 6. Satyadevata Prabhu. If Satyadevata Prabhu is not ready, then Brihad Nath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Maharishya sapta purve chatvaru manavastatha madhubhava manasajata yisham loka ima praja. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. Purport. The Lord is giving a genealogical synopsis of the universal population. Brahma is the original creature, born out of the energy of the Supreme Lord, who is known as Hiranyagarbha. And from Brahma, all the 7 great sages, and before them 4 other great sages named Sanak, Sanand, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, and the 14 Manus are manifest. All these 25 great sages are known as the patriarchs of the living entities all over the universe. There are innumerable universes and innumerable planets within each universe, and each planet is full of population of different varieties. All of them are born of these 25 patriarchs. Brahma underwent penance for 1000 years of the demigod before he realized by the grace of Krishna how to create. Then from Brahma came Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, then Rudra, and then the 7 sages. And in this way, all the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are born out of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma is known as Pitama, the grandfather, and Krishna is known as Prapitamaha, the father of the grandfather. This is stated in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. And after that, Mothers Subhasini Devidasi, please prepare for 7.
Yes.
So in this sloka, we see the important principle is everyone comes from Krishna. Brihadnath Prabhu, did you
Yes.
catch that point? Everything
Yes,
comes
yes.
from?
Everything comes from Krishna. Yes.
Yeah, that's the breakdown, the principle, the important principle. So it is elaborately described in Bhagavatam, actually details. More, if you are interested, you can always go to Bhagavatam and read. Sometimes people are proud of their ancestor. Even in India, आपका गोत्र क्या है? what is your gotra, as if like you separately exist from Krishna. Nobody exists from Krishna. Everybody coming from him. But then generally they quote some, okay, that's fine. You can quote from this dynasty, this Bangsa, that Bangsa, but it should be addressed originally from Krishna. Otherwise, we'll be like hovering in a fearful material world. Text 7. I cannot hear you, Mata. You are breaking up.
Now,
is it me?
Now, Prabhuji, it's okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Viputim yogam cha mama yoveti tatvata. Is it okay, Prabhu, now?
Yes.
Okay. So, avikalpena yogena yujyate natraha. Translation and purport is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, something happened with her. Gautam Prabhu, can you continue? And then when she comes back, she will do next one or something.
Yes, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yes, very clear.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unallowed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. Purport. The highest summit of spiritual perfection in knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Mata, just hold on to it. Your voice is still not clear.
Okay.
Let Gautama Prabhu continue and then I'll come back to you. Your voice is breaking. Go ahead, Gautama.
Unless one is firmly convinced of the different opulences of the Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. Generally, people know that God is great, but they do not know in detail how God is great. Here are the details. If one knows factually how God is great, then naturally he becomes a surrendered soul and engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord. When one factually knows the opulences of the Supreme, there is no alternative but to surrender to him. This factual knowledge can be known from the description in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and similar literatures. In the administration of this universe, there are many demigods distributed throughout the planetary system. And the chief of them are Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the 4 great Kumaras, and the other patriarchs. There are many forefathers of the population of the universe, and all of them are born of the Supreme Lord Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the original forefather of all forefathers. These are some of the opulences of the Supreme Lord. When one is firmly convinced of them, he accepts Krishna with great faith and without any doubt, and he engages in devotional service. All this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Lord. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is. For by knowing the greatness of Krishna, one will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And Lakshai Prabhu, please prepare for text 8. After I finish, I would like to touch this. This purport is so sweet. Prabhupada give a very hidden. I hope we all got it. Maybe in a short, I would like to say to all of you, can you trust Krishna? In a sense, to trust Krishna means to trust that he can run the world without us. Ask yourself, can you do that? When you say you trust Krishna, do you trust him that he can run the world without you? When we hear Bhagavad Gita repeated exhortation to fix our mind on Krishna, we doubt. I don't know if he had a doubt or not, but I had a doubt. Because I have so many responsibility. You know, there was a time I had to pick up somebody from school. So I have to go to temple for something. I have to do like so many things in the mind going. So many responsibility that I need to think about. How can I just think of Krishna? That question rises. Even one Prabhupada's disciple, it was very interesting. He is a very famous contractor here. So he say, I said, how do Krishna says to Arjuna, Tasmat Sarvesu Kalesu, Ma Manusmara Juddhacha. Arjuna, you think of me while killing. So you have to identify the enemy. Try to pay attention. You have, in order to kill enemy, you have to know who is enemy, yes or no? Otherwise you'll kill innocent. So you have to identify the enemy and then kill. But Krishna says, think of me while you are killing the enemy. So you have to think of enemy or Krishna, or like 1 second Krishna and then enemy Krishna, enemy Krishna. How you do it? Your mind boggles. But I really want you to have a faith that when Krishna says something, it's already built in. It is not something exercise we have to do. It is already there. Just like Krishna says, surrender to me, I'll protect you. Once you surrender, you don't have to look for protection. I hope everybody understanding that. Protection already built in surrender. You surrender means already protected. You don't have to look for, oh, I surrender. Do I need to ask for protection? No. Krishna says surrender means protection there. Everybody understand that? When Krishna says, think of me and fight, means Arjuna actually was thinking of Krishna. Then he saw the enemy and killing. He did not have to separately see it. Certainly, it is important to be responsible. But it's just as important to understand responsibility holistically. We all have many responsibilities associated with our various roles. I'm sure your father, mother, or daughter, or sister, or whatever, you have a responsibility to do the shopping, cooking. If I think of Krishna but not cooking, my husband will get mad, or my wife will get mad. We will be hungry and no prasadam. So you may be thinking like, wow, you know, if I am absorbed with Krishna, I may forget to cook. Will that be okay, Prabhu? No, it's a misunderstood. That when you think of Krishna, cooking already will be done. Not that, oh, so I don't have to cook. You mean Krishna will cook for me? No, you're misunderstanding again. See, mind will trap us. That's why I'm pounding this point. As souls, we are on a multi-life journey of spiritual evolution towards eternal ecstasy or ecstatic love for Krishna. Try to put yourself in that. Our worldly responsibilities gain lasting value only when we do them in a devotional mood. Instead of thinking whether Krishna will cook for, if I start, meditate on Krishna, I may forget to cook. Maybe you need to cook to feed Krishna. No need to speculate. Our worldly responsibilities gain lasting value. When? Only when we do them in devotional mood. For developing that devotional mood, we need to practice Bhakti Yoga, which centers on fixing our mind on Krishna. To focus on him, we need the trust that he, Krishna, won't let our world fall apart if we temporarily stop thinking about him. Everybody understood that? You may think like, I can't just think of Krishna. I need to take care of the children. I need to. You are missing the main point again. I hope everybody is getting that point, what I'm trying to hammer it. Not in a harsh way, but in a loving way. We can develop this trust by understanding Krishna's position, as explained right here. He is the supreme controller. You are not a controller of taking care of your children or cooking or anything you do. You think you do. Who is giving you impetus to cook? Who is reminding you to put the salt in the sabji? It is Krishna. 15:15 Krishna claims that I am the one who gives you the memory. I am the one who gives you the ability. Try to see through Bhagavad Gita how Krishna is actually all around you. So meditating Krishna doesn't mean stop all other activities, only like, well, it's some artificial imagination, Krishna in Vrindavan, and I'm not doing anything else. You know, I'm not going to pick up my children from school. Let's see what happened. That's not thinking of Krishna is telling. Krishna did not tell Arjuna, go in the middle of battlefield and meditate on me. He didn't say that. He said, think of me while you're killing. It is possible 100%, and it will please Krishna. So whatever result we can get in our various roles, we can get them only when Krishna sanction. Do you trust that? That's why I asked you, do you trust Krishna that he can actually rule this world without you? Or you think that, well, I have to think about picking up my child? It is Krishna who reminds you, not you. Don't take the credit, which is not your due. You be an instrument, but it is Krishna who reminds. But we have a problem, we take the credit. You know, I did this, I collected this, I did this. Arey Baba, it is all Krishna actually did it through you. Why don't you give him the credit what is due? Then if you do this, then you are pure bhakta, right at this moment. So will Krishna, who took care of the whole world before our birth, and Krishna will take care of this world, believe or not, after we die. So he won't take care, you think, of your small world while you are alive? Especially when you are trying to serve him? Surely, he will. Krishna will. Gaining this conviction, I want everybody to have that conviction. You have to have that conviction that by understanding Krishna's position, we unhesitatingly absorb ourselves in Krishna. This verse is promoting. So what is that means? I summarize that in one sentence. Devotional absorption purifies us, provides us the inner clarity to discharge our responsibility with lesser anxiety and greater efficacy. Devotional absorption purifies us. I have developed recently, like every time I give a class, I think immediately I go and thank Krishna for that, because a lot of things, he is the one who reminds, it's not me. But people may see, oh, I have spoken, but it is not me, it is passing through me. Just like you catching, I'm also trying to catch and appreciate Krishna for reminding. It makes Krishna happy. So devotional absorption Whatever your duty, whatever responsibility, whether you mother or father or businessman or brahmachari, whatever, is the same. As long you are connecting in devotional way to please Krishna. Because devotional absorption purifies us, it will provide us the inner clarity. It is required, inner clarity. Why? To discharge our responsibility. With lesser anxiety, you will have a less anxiety. I'm not showing off or proud. I see that within me even. I'm sure all of you will agree. The more actually you are Krishna conscious, less you have anxiety at all. But we do have anxiety in the Krishna consciousness, but that's purifying. It's actually, we like it. Just like Mother Jashoda sees Krishna going from, how many rooms in Nanda Bhavan? Anybody knows? 50 rooms. And each room has a beautiful decorated threshold. And Krishna is a little chubby boy, so attractive, and he's so mischievous. He's like going from one room to another and falling off. And you know what is happening? Mother's Jashoda's heart always worry. Oh no, again he's falling. But that she is attached to Krishna. It is not like anxiety of this world. She wants to live on that anxiety. It pleases Krishna, it pleases her, and it's very difficult for us to understand how can anxiety be tasteful. Well, once you go there, you will agree, 100%. But we have to practice now before we go there. Okay, text 8. Who is starting next? Sri Prabhu, right?
Hare Krishna.
Text
अहं
8, Prabhu.
सर्वस्य प्रभवो मतः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुद्धा भावसमन्विता. Translation: I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Purport: a learned scholar who has studied the Vedas and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya and who knows how to apply these teachings can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both the material and spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All Vedic literatures agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva and all other demigods. In the Atharva Veda, Gopal Tapani Upanishad 1.24, it is said, Yo Brahmanam Vidad Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedamscha Gapyati Sma Krishna. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again, the Narayana Upanishad 1 says, Ata Purusho Ha Vai Narayano Akamayate Praja Srijiyate. Then the Supreme Personality Narayan desired to create living entities. The Upanishad continues, Narayanad Brahma Jayate, Narayanad Prajapati Prajayate, Narayanad Indro Jayate, Narayanad Asto Vasvo Jayante, Narayanad Ekadash Rudro Jayante, Narayanad Dwadash Aditya. From Narayan, Brahma is born, and from Narayan, the patriarchs are also born. From Narayan, Indra is born. From Narayan, the 8 Vasus are born. From Narayan, the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayan, the 12 Adityas are born. This Narayan is an expansion of Krishna. It is said in the same Vedas, Brahmanyo Devaki Putra, the son of Devaki, Krishna is the Supreme Personality. Narayan Upanishad 4. Then it is said, Eko Vai Narayana Asin na Brahma na Ishano Napo Nagni Samau Neme Dyav Dyava Prithvi, na nakshatrani, na surya. In the beginning of the creation, there was only the Supreme Personality Narayan. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no water, no fire, no moon, no stars in the sky, no sun. Maha Upanishad 1.1.2. In the Maha Upanishad, it is also said that Lord Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord. Thus, the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva, who is to be worshipped. In the Moksha Dharma, Krishna also says, Prajapatim cha rudram chapyaham eva srijami vai tauhi mam na vijanito mama maya vimohito. The patriarchs Shiva and others are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by me because they are deluded by my illusory energy. In the Varaha Puran, it is also said, Narayana paro deva tasmad jata chaturmukha tasmad rudro abhavad deva sacha sarvagyatam gata. Narayan is the supreme personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, from whom Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me. No one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master with references from Vedic literature engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and becomes a truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness.
Very good. Thank you. Next is Kovilla Prabhu, but this is one of the very important 4 verses. I'm going to say some few words for your pleasure, if you like it. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. So I am the source of everything. Krishna is, you can say declaring, he's claiming. Then he says, Matta sarvam pravartate. Everything emanates from me. So it looks like repetition, but pravartate is in present tense, which means that not only I am the source of everything, I am also maintaining everything. Everybody understand my point? So earlier, we have discussed that, or maybe I didn't discuss in your class. I have another class I was doing, that there is in theism, there is a creator and controller. And in deism, there is a creator but not the controller. And atheism, no creator, no controller. Everybody understand where? That's how people see in this world. So Bhagavad Gita here, Krishna is telling, Bhagavad Gita is telling us that God is judge for those who does not wanted him to interfere, and those who turn towards him. He is a person. So he is a source and sustainer. Very good. But then Krishna says, very unique. Iti matta. Prabhupada gave actually many lectures on this. Iti matta. Iti matta means one who understands this. So ask yourself, do you understand what Krishna says these 2 sentences before? Very important. And if you understand, then what will happen? What happened to that person, one who understands? He says, bhajante mam. Bhajante is explained, even 6.47 is a bhajante mam, devotee who wholeheartedly offer oneself to Krishna. Not just ritualistic offering. Okay, this time to this time I go to temple to chant and look around who else is here and come back. That's a ritualistic. is okay, it's not bad. But Krishna is saying the bhajante. What way worship is going on? Buddha. Buddha bhava samannita. Buddha. Buddha means intelligent, related with Buddha, the enlightened one. Even in Buddhism, they call Buddha means enlightened. And that's the same word Krishna used, Buddha. Bhava samannita. Bhava samannita means with emotion of the heart. With emotion. Do you have a feeling when you are singing? Do you have a feeling when you are offering? Do you have a feeling when you are cooking? And if you say no, that means you didn't take the first two lines of this sloka. Very important. So the person will not do ritualistic worship, but Buddha bhava samannita. One will worship with emotions. I hope everybody is getting that. So the person will not do ritualistic worship. He will do Buddha bhava samannita. He will worship Krishna with feelings. Srila Prabhupada in the purport, this Prabhu who just read, Lakshay Prabhu, that in the Atharva Veda is Gopal Tapani Upanishad, it is said, Brahmana Viddhati Purvam Javai Vedam Cha Kapayati Shma Krishna. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in the Vedic knowledge, who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. So Krishna is the source of all. What are the alternative sources which people may think of? Do you know? People may think Brahma is the source, Shiva is the source, which is not fact as stated here. Why? Because Prabhupada repeated. Prabhupada, he was in ecstasy, I could see there while he was doing this purport. Because here Narayana Upanishad says, Atho Purusha, Ho Vai Narayana, Kammata Praja, Srijati. Then the Supreme Personality, Narayan desired to create living entity. Then again Upanishad says, Narayanat Brahma Jayate. That whole verse beautifully, that from Narayan Brahma is born, from Narayan patriarchs are born, from Narayan Indra born, from Narayan great Basus born, from Narayan 11 Rudras are born, from Narayan the 12 Adityas are born, the 33 demigods. Narayan, then question is, okay, then Narayan is the origin. No, Prabhupada put again, if you look at the purport, it's beautiful purport. Prabhupada put, Narayan is an expansion of Krishna. So when we study scriptures, details of process of creation of living entities are given so in the process of creation, it is not that every time the same process is followed. There can be variations in different universes. So Krishna need not have to follow the same rigid pattern every time. So here it is said that Shiva came from Narayan. In Bhagavatam it says that Shiva come from Brahma. So the point is, because Shivaratri coming next week, is it that Narayan's arrangement, that Narayan is the original source. So these personalities have not come directly from Lord Narayan, but it can also happen in some universe if that is Lord's will. But Bhagavatam defines various genealogy. But ultimately, everything comes from, this verse says, from Krishna. So it is mentioned, Kammata Praja. You look at this purport, read again and read again. You will feel happy in the heart. Those souls like us who came to the material world, we wanted to come to material world. Lord gave them the body. I mean, he gave us the body. And Prabhupada purport goes on. It's so sweet. So my question is, be in Krishna consciousness, not around it. Everybody got it? Be in Krishna consciousness, not around it. Means to be in Krishna consciousness means to be aware of Krishna's supreme position as the source of everything. And to devote ourselves wholeheartedly to him. This is this verse promoting to me. To be around Krishna consciousness means to let our consciousness get caught in peripheral issues associated with Krishna. Explaining Krishna's position. Gita, this Bhagavad Gita, what it states, that Krishna belongs to a higher spiritual level of reality. And so do we. For we are at our core souls, eternal parts of Krishna. And he descended to our material level of reality just to attract our consciousness to him. To thereby spiritualize it. Krishna may appear at a particular historical times, Dwapara Yuga or whatever, calculation we have, and become well known in a particular culture or through particular institutions. His purpose is served through such particularities. And yet, his purpose transcends all such particularities. If we are to fulfill Krishna's universal purpose of spiritualizing our consciousness, we need to see beyond contextual particularities. If we see Krishna as a culture figure, in America, a lot of people will say, oh, that's a Hindu god. That's some idea there. About whom we watch TV serial, in India, there was a Mahabharata TV serial, so many. We may reduce him to an entertaining mythological character, to a god in our religion's pantheon. If we see Krishna through the lens of history, we may get lost in debates about the historicity of Krishna, various Krishna-related texts. If we see Krishna as a deity propagated by an institution, we may get sidetracked by institutional controversies. It's happening, practical reality, I'm telling you. That were caused by materially motivated people with a vested interest in misappropriating their institution's resources. Such cultural, historical, or institutional perspectives can raise some valid concern. I agree. And if it is our need or interest or service, we can address those concerns appropriately. But seeing Krishna through this perspective does not spiritualize our consciousness. I hope everybody understanding that point. Only by seeing Krishna as a supreme spiritual reality and connecting with him by practicing bhakti yoga, can we release the immortal taste of pure Krishna consciousness, of eternal ecstatic love for Krishna? That is what we need. So you think, how is Krishna's descent related to the cultural, historical, institutional? There was a time, actually, I used to think Krishna is only for the Hare Krishna people. In the beginning of my life, I remember that's how I used to think. So it is very important that only by seeing Krishna as a supreme spiritual reality, and connecting with him by practicing our daily sadhana, we can relish. Can we relish the immortal taste of pure Krishna consciousness, of eternal ecstatic love for Krishna? Text 9 now by Kaivalla Prabhu. You have to unmute.
Machit matagata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Purport. Pure devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. In the primary stage of the devotional service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature stage, they are actually situated in love of God. Once situated in that transcendental position, they can relish the highest perfection, which is exhibited by the Lord in his abode. Lord Chaitanya likens the transcendental devotional service to the sowing of the seed in the heart of the living entities. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe. Out of them, there is a few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get the chance to understand devotional service. This devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of a living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, that seed fructifies just as the seed of the tree fructifies with regular watering. The spiritual plant of the devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the coverings of the material universe and enters into Brahmajyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky also, that plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Golok Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as a plant grows fruits and flowers, that plant of the devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. This plant of devotional service is fully described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 19. It is explained there that when a complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in love of God. Then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord, just as a fish cannot live without water. In such a state, a devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees. Stated in the Bhagavatam itself, 12:13.18, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotees is fully described. Thus, the realized soul in Krishna consciousness takes continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literature, just as a young boy and girl take pleasure in the association. Hare Krishna.
This is such a wonderful purport. I feel like to memorize and hear it again and again and again. This is wonderful. So the three primary faculties of our existence are described over here. Can you catch? First is Matchitta, mind. Madgata Prana, life itself, the body. So the whole existence is offered to Krishna. Devotees live whole life simply for the service of Krishna, for no other purpose. I remember in early days, I was thinking like my life, my family, and Krishna consciousness are two different things. But it has to be one thing, not two. Because in reality, in a higher reality, it's actually one. And that's what we are trying to come. Then he says, Budayanta. When others speak, we understand. Parasparam, to each other. Kathayanta, when we speak. Nittam, forever. Tushyanti, satisfied with current level of advancement. Anybody knows when the first satisfaction comes, what do you feel? You please remember that. You should say, Gurudev, Prabhupada, I don't deserve it. What is coming to me? When you find spiritual satisfaction, do not take the credit on your own. Say, I don't deserve it. Thank you for giving me this. Then you can grow further. And if you take your own self, you got it by your own endeavor. You missed it. You're disconnecting it. Be very careful. I'm talking to myself. I know you all are doing that. Ramanti, delighted. Madhurja Ras about what is going to come in the future. Ramanti means it is delighted that what is going to happen in future. You'll be drowned into ecstasy in Krishna's, pleasing Krishna. And this verse says that they delight, the devotee delight in enlightening each other. Lord Chaitanya exhibited in Jagannath Puri, in Gambhira. Kathayantascha mam nittam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So body, mind and speech all are used in the service of Krishna. The joy of Krishna Katha is greater than greatest joy in the material existence. I think I mentioned here, maybe not, that Prabhupada was giving a class in Vrindavan. I thought I did, no? And where they forgot to honor the breakfast. It went till noon time and the pujari and the cook came all the way to Prabhupada's room and he's making some commotion and Prabhupada opened his eyes. He was kept going for hours. Said, what is the matter? Why you are disturbing? He said, I need to speak something. He said, go to your authority, the temple president or whoever it is. Why you are? He said, no, it's about you. Then Prabhupada paid attention. Oh, it's about me. What happened? He said, generally devotees, they take prasadam breakfast. We don't have extra pots. We use the same pot to make for lunch. But nobody came to honor breakfast today because they are so absorbed hearing you for 4 hours. And Prabhupada looked around, the windows, door, everything packed. And then he smiled. He said, oh, you all are here. You didn't leave. And I'm speaking for 4 hours. I didn't realize. Then Prabhupada said, that is very nice. When your taste of hearing Harikatha is higher than prasadam, that means you are advancing. That is very nice. So you can examine also yourself, how much time you spend Harikatha and how much time you spend of prasadam. We are not trying to put the prasadam down, but Harikatha is more tastier than prasadam. Even though both are transcendental, but there is a gradation. The gopis are talking non-stop all day night. They're crying, they conversing each other. They're not looking for where is halwa, where is sweet rice. No, I want some pakora. They don't talk so much about it. They talk about cooking for Krishna. So joy of Krishna Katha is greater than the greatest joy in the material existence. When two like-minded, like-taste devotees come together, discuss Krishna, there is no parallel joy in this world. And Prabhupada put in the purport, so nice, Bhakti Lata Bij, Sravana Kirtana. Oh, what a wonderful purport Prabhupada writes. This verse in Bhagavad Gita also talks about the joy of association in bhakti, association of like-minded devotee. You know, I had a problem in early days when I heard Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, if you have a one or two devotees supports your advancement, you should feel very fortunate. And I was in Mayapur, I'm thinking there's hundreds of devotees. Why one or two? I could not reconcile. And then later on you realize more you are advancing very sharply, you hardly will get one or two actually support your advancement. And then you open your eyes and thank to Bhakti Siddhanta. Thank you so much. Yes. As I mentioned before, Rupa Goswami Pad says, as you are advancing, some closest friend will go far away. And farthest friend that you never thought will become close, will become very close to you. Be open-minded. Don't be attached to the old figure. Otherwise, you will get disturbed. So I have a question. Association works, but making it work is whose responsibility? Think. Association is the most important in our spiritual life, in spiritual practice. More advanced devotee association you have, you are advancing quicker. If we want to drive to a destination, we need a working car. Yes, you will agree. But just getting the car is not enough. We need to get into it, drive it properly, isn't? When we start practicing spiritual life, we embark on a journey towards the destination of Krishna, our eternal Lord. For this drive, the association of devotees is like our car. Association is central to the shaping of character. We become like a people we mix with. Only when we associate regularly with the spiritually devoted can we become spiritual. Just like this Christian minister told me, Govind, I like what you said. So how do you know who is eligible to go to God or not? I said, give me a name. He said, how about my brother? I said, bring 10 best friends that he hangs around. 10. I'll interview 1 hour, 10 hours. I'll tell you where your brother heading. Where he's going to go if he dies now? From the association, 10 people that he hangs around, I can assure you where he is heading. Because we give importance. Sadhus, association. So making association work means ensuring that in association, our consciousness, thinking, willing, feeling stays directed towards the intended destination. Please remember that. Why you have come, why you have joined Krishna consciousness. What is the purpose? And where are you heading? Is it aligned with the devotional GPS? A GPS, I don't know if everybody knows, means devotional principle. Whatever Rupa Goswami Pad gave, GPS means here we call map, road map when you drive. So if you have a devotional principle, whatever you are feeling, if your feeling is aligned with devotional principle, the principle that written in Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, if your feeling, your emotion is aligned with the scriptures, then it is devotion. If it is not aligned with scriptures, it's only commotion. It is not devotion. So when in association, it is our responsibility to keep our discussion focused on Krishna. I mean, recently when I saw we were discussing something about a devotee, then all of a sudden there was some fault with the devotee and the other devotee went off. Like what he did in 30 years back, then it's like a whole discussion went into offensive. So dangerous if you don't focus. Of course, that doesn't mean that we neglect basic courtesies to stay oblivious to social dynamics. It just means that we don't let this take center stage in our discussion. We can treat such functional topics like exist along the expressway. You saw when you drive. While driving, we may take exit temporarily for refueling or resting place. I do this every time when I drive long distance. But we soon return to the expressway, isn't? Similarly, whatever our other topics we may discuss, we need to soon bring the discussion and thereby our consciousness back to Krishna. If that divine focus is lost, we can politely refocus the discussion on Krishna or move discreetly to other, more spiritually centered association. So what is boils down to? In the association of those who have made this supremely desirable Lord their supreme desire, that Lord becomes our supreme desire and takes us to the supreme destination. So please remember it, mothers and Prabhus, associate with the saintly to upload their spiritual positivity. Can you remember this, please? I beg you, associate with the saintly devotee to upload in your heart with spiritual positivity, not download our mental negativity. Text 10. We have time, right? We have to finish 2 more verses today. 17 minutes. We'll do. Next is Mother Archana Dasi. No, Nikunja Lila. Mother Nikunja Lila Dasi. Did she read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble worship. No, Prabhuji.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
And then followed by Mother Archana Dasi.
Text 10. Tesham satata yukta nam bhajatam priti purvakam dadati buddhi yogam tam yena mamu prayanti te. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport. In this verse, the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the 2nd chapter, the Lord, instructing Arjuna, said that he had spoken to him of many things and that he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now, Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one is try to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress in Krishna, the ultimate goal of progress in Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and the bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traveled, and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life, but in the addiction to the fruits of activity, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is in Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculation to understand Krishna, he is acting in jnana yoga. And when he knows the goal and seek Krishna completely in the Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached attached to the spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within give him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kind of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make a progress in path of self-realization, but insincere and devoted to the activity of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. Hare Krishna.
Very good. This is further explained in the next verse. Prabhupada ended very nice. But dear mothers and Prabhus, don't take advantage of it in a wrong way of thinking like, well, I'm hanging around Krishna devotees, so eventually Krishna from within the heart. That's not what exactly it says. That Krishna will purify you. You have to be engaged. It's saying, Prabhupada says that a person may have a bona fide spiritual master, maybe a spiritual organization, still he's not intelligent enough. Then Krishna from within will guide him and try to purify and get him out of. But that doesn't mean we just hang around, we'll do. No, we have to serve, follow our guru. So this verse is very nice. Tesam. To who? Krishna says, Tesam. Those people who are talked about in the previous verse. These four are interlinked. 10.9. What did he talk about? It talks primarily about avideya, how to practice devotion. And delight tushyanti cha ramanti cha, talking about prayojan. Everybody got it? There is a sambandha avideya prayojan in this 10.9. Now in this 10.10, yasam satata juktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Let them, devotees, be engaged in bhakti with affection and devotion, priti purvakam. So affectionately, not resentfully, not grudgingly. If we are doing bhakti resentfully, then we prevent Krishna from giving us what he wanted to give. This is very important. If you criticize about superior, then you're blocking the mercy that's supposed to be pouring out from them. If you don't have a strong glorification to Krishna, you're rather blocking, you have a doubt, then Krishna's merciful hand will not be visible. And if you criticize inferior or junior, then there could be fault within me, it will be overlooked. I'll never purify. In other words, criticism is condemned in all three levels. I hope everybody understood that simple point. So we can learn from here that we wanted to study scripture so that we wanted to love Krishna. This study is not so intellectually scrutinized Krishna, it is to intellectually submit to Krishna. You follow? It is the submission. Studies remove our misconception and increases our conviction, by which we can go back to Krishna. So what do we learn? We learn to choose Krishna is a one choice that will empower us to make better choice in life. Our life generally determined largely by our choice. In the very beginning, I think first day I mentioned, we are product of our own decision, not situation. If you could see your previous life, you will never complain. Oh my God, I choose myself where I am today. What am I complaining for? It's a joke. Lord Shivarati what's his name? Krishna Maharaj. We are studying Chaitanya Charitamrita. Every day evening we study with another group. And Maharaj says, I'm going to tell a story that if you are not intelligent enough, that actually when you go to demigod or Shiva and you're not aware of Krishna consciousness fully, you may get cheated. You may not know. Just because you have access to go to Shiva doesn't mean you will be benefited. So it's a joke story that one couple went. So Shiva was very happy and Shiva says, what do you want, mother? To the wife, she said, I just want to be devoted and peaceful. Okay, you can be that. What do you want, sir? And the man says, I'm tired of looking same age wife. I want younger wife. So how younger you want? 30 years younger. Tathastu, let be it. So then Shiva left. This 40 years old man became 70 years. And his wife remained same and she is 30 years younger. I hope you got the joke. So don't try to, you cannot fool God. It's a wasting time. And then he realized after that, oh, I did such austerity to meet Shiva, and this is what, because of what he wanted, he didn't know what he's getting into it. So we can never figure it out what is best, but we can do one thing. We can choose Krishna. It's one choice that will empower us to make better choice in life. As I mentioned, in driving, taking the right turn is relatively easy. Well, in America at least, maybe in India too. We just need to know which turn is right. Everybody got it? Right turn is easy, relatively. But you have to know which turn is right. In life, however, making the right choice is much more difficult. Some inner force pushes us to make a choice even when we know it is wrong. It happened in my life. I'm being honest to you. But learning from Bhagavad Gita identifies this misleading force as selfish desire. 3.37. Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajat Guna Samadbhava. I'm sure you heard about that sloka so much. It covers our knowledge. Next verse it says, it covers our knowledge and acts as enemy, though selfish motive. As this force can sabotage even our intelligence. We need to protect ourselves with the higher power of Krishna. So if we choose Krishna by fervently seeking his help, whenever tempted, he will guide us to choose wisely and resist temptation. This has happened in my life. That's why I'm bold to say it. However, choosing Krishna amidst temptation is not easy. Why? Because by past habit, indulgence has become our unthinking default choice. So when tempted, we don't even think of Krishna. We just succumbed. To change this default setting, we need to choose Krishna regularly by practicing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, diligently. And such practice gradually makes our consciousness inclined towards him. Even before our inner inclination changes, bhakti practice attracts Krishna's mercy. See also that angle. And he gives us the intelligence. He just said 10.10 right now, we just read, right? Dadami buddhi yogam tam. That choose wisely. If we practice bhakti wholeheartedly, a benevolent inner voice restrains called vivek buddhi. Prabhupada said actually it's Paramatma. Will guide. You can hear him, he's guiding from within you. Don't do it. Don't go there. Okay, do this. You will feel within. If we practice bhakti wholeheartedly. Sure, and benevolent inner voice restrains and redirects our consciousness whenever temptation allures. Even if we still succumb, that divine voice soon makes relapse unpalatable and abstinence attainable. So rather than worrying excessively about how we will resist life's many predictable, unpredictable temptations, we can focus on choosing Krishna by practicing chanting Hare Krishna right now, hearing Bhagavad Gita now. By that one committed choice, we will be guided and empowered to make better choice at all time, including amidst temptation. Please, everyone, remember that. That choosing Krishna is a one choice will empower us to make better choice. We are finishing the last verse 11. Quick. See if we can do it. I was going to go to 18, but at least up to 11. So Monday we'll do. Archana, Mother Archana Rasi, did you read? No, she didn't read.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay,
You
text.
did? Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Will, yes. Text 11. Tesam eva nukam partam aham agyana jam tama nasayami atma bhavastu gyana dipena bhashwata. Translation: to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
Okay, in the purport, you go halfway, Mother, and then Apurva Shakti Devi Das, you will finish the other half.
Yes, Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace La Prabhupada Ki Jai. When Lord Chaitanya was in Benares promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, thousands of people were following him. Prakas Nanda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Benares at that time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadi philosophers criticized the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact. There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literatures or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart. So the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. The Mayavadi philosophers think that without discriminating, one cannot have pure knowledge. For them, this answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principles, are still helped by the Supreme God as stated in this verse.
Very nice. Thank you, Mata. Mother Apurva Shakti Devi Dasi. Are you there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, please continue.
The Lord tells Arjun that basically there is no possibility of understanding the supreme truth, the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, simply by speculating. For the supreme truth is so great that it is not possible to understand him or to achieve him simply by making a mental effort. Man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he is not devoted, if he is not a lover of the supreme truth, he will never understand Krishna or the supreme truth.
Can you read that again? It's a very nice line.
Man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he is not devoted, if he is not a lover of the supreme truth, he will never understand Krishna or the supreme truth. Only by devotional service is the supreme truth Krishna pleased, and by his inconceivable energy, he can reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart, and with the presence of Krishna, who is just like the sun, the darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated. This is the special mercy rendered to the pure devotee by Krishna. Due to the contamination of material association through many, many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chants Hare Krishna, the dust quickly clears and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. The ultimate goal, Vishnu, can be attained only by this chant and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He need not be anxious, because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service. As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic endeavors Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Wonderful. So today we'll end here the 11. I just want to refresh this 11. Now Krishna said, I will give you intelligence. In the previous verse he says. Now somebody may ask how Krishna will give intelligence. This is described in this verse. Everybody understood? I hope you found it. Otherwise you can read it later. That how Krishna will give the intelligence, he explains in this verse 11. So let's break it for 1 minute. Tesham eva anukam partham. On them I will show special mercy. Aham ajnana yam tamaha. So the born of ignorance, whatever darkness is there. Nashayami atma bhavastu. Atma bhavastu. I'm situated in their heart. Nashayami, I will destroy. How? Jnana dipena bhashyata. By the torchlight of knowledge. When darkness comes, we confuse us. Wanted to lit out world immediately. But we don't think about our inner world. Actually, what do you see outside? In a macro form, it's actually there in microform inside the heart. Otherwise, it is not possible to see anything. If it is not inside you, you cannot see, perceive outside. Binding means, Krishna says here, so let's refresh. When darkness comes, we confuse ourselves and wanted to lit up the world immediately. But we don't think about our inner world. Our inner world is enveloped with blinding and binding darkness. Binding means from that darkness, suddenly some nasty desire pops. Some negative feeling comes. Some doubt comes. This troubles us. It torments us. It drains us. And ultimately it defeats us. So we don't know what is good for us, what is bad for us. We don't know what all are there in our heart. When some emotion comes, we cannot even identify that there are enemies. Whatever comes within us, we think, oh, it is my emotion, therefore I must act on it. No. Inside us, there is a soul. There is mind. Also, which has so much contamination, therefore it is not whatever comes out of me is me. It could be something else, which is like a masking. You know, nowadays everybody has a mask. In the Zoom, we don't see that. But in the morning, every day temple, till 9 o'clock, everybody has a mask. Otherwise, not allowed. So for this, devotees don't have to make extra effort. Devotee simply practices devotional service. Krishna removes the darkness. Krishna ignites the light, which makes inner world bright and right. So we will understand these material desires are not good for me. I will not indulge in it. I will cultivate Krishna consciousness. Now, some people think that devotees are not intelligent, but Jiva Goswami, Ramanujacharya, Madhacharya, these are extraordinary intelligent people. A devotee is supremely intelligent. In Shastra, even Mahaprabhu says, Jai Krishna bhaje se bara chatur. Extremely cleverly intelligent, one who is a Krishna Bhakta. So in these 4 verses, Krishna not only demonstrates his supreme position, but he also demonstrated his benevolent disposition, that I care if you just wanted to love me. I care so much that I will personally intervene and I will give you all the intelligence by which you will come back to me. So by demonstrating his love towards devotees, Krishna is making a call to us. Don't worry, just follow me. I'll provide you everything. And I hope everybody gets that note. This is the conclusion for today. I will take few, it's 10:40. Have to be there. Yeah, we have a few minutes. We have a few minutes. If anybody would like to share some, or if anybody has any question, we can address one or two, or if you want to give us some feedback or reflection, something. And then tomorrow, before that, I would like to just say it. We finish up to 11. So I remember in the first day, I said 12 to 18 will be Monday, and 19 to 42, I'll see if we can manage it both. Otherwise, I'll bring you a chart and put it or give it to somebody here who can give it, share with all of you. 12 to 18, we're going to read where Arjuna will start glorifying and he will accept Krishna's glories. This is a good thing. When you accept Krishna's glories, Krishna's position, you will see there is an illumination in the heart. And then, what's the first symptom? If you know that you are accepting Krishna as he is, first symptom will come, you want to hear more. So you can self-examination. If you feel like you want to hear more, that means you are accepting Krishna. And if you feel like, well, I'm tired, well, you're saying that you don't have interest. But problem is your mind is not stopping. Whether you listen Krishna or you listen to your own world, it will never stop. Mind will never stop. But if you engage mind to hear Krishna, at least chances are you accepting Krishna. So with that note, I would like to hear some reflection. If someone would like to share, please.
Prabhuji, one question first. Here, important verses we read through 4 verses, 8 to 11. Aham sarvasya pravartu tesam evanu kampartham. So Krishna told these 4 verses to the Brahmaji. That's what it is, the Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita, right, Prabhuji? So that
Prabhuji, just one second. These verses are not the verses Chatusloki Bhagavatam. That's in first canto 9, second canto 9 chapter 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. This in Bhagavatam. The verse goes Aham
evanu kampartham
agre nannat jasat asat param. The verse goes like this. Then the second verse is Rite Artham Jat Pratiyata Na Pratiyata Chatmani. These are Chatusloki Bhagavatam that Lord spoke to Brahmaji. This 4th sloka is not spoken to Brahmaji, it's spoken to Arjuna.
So these are why it is called Chatusloki Bhagavatam, Prabhuji? I mean,
Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita. So is that the, like when we say like Chatusloki Bhagavatam, that Bhagavatam side, this Bhagavad Gita, is that the 4 verses only Krishna spoke to Arjuna and then it is expanded? That I am trying to understand.
The essence of entire Gita, you can find the lesson from these 4 verses. This is what Krishna wanted to express to Arjuna.
Okay, so like in Bhagavatam, that Chatusloki Bhagavatam is there. So that 4 verses Krishna spoke to Brahmaji.
Then Brahmaji spoke to Narada. Narada made it into 10 subject matter. And then 10 subject matter was revealed to Sukdev Goswami by Vyasdev, and Vyasdev, when he revealed to Sukdev Goswami made it most nectarian. And then Sutta Goswami, he added first 2 chapters and the last chapter more sweeter about the glory of Sukdev Goswami and why Bhagavatam is the essence. That verse that we read, Dharma Prajjita Kaitavatra, this is not spoken by Brahmaji, Krishna or Brahmaji or Narad Muni. This is by Sutta Goswami. That why Bhagavatam is the essence. So that's why we take like this. Very important. Thank you for bringing that point. It's very nice.
Can I ask you one question, please?
Yes,
not related to today's discussion. It is like about somebody asked me and about Mahamantra, where is the origin, I said, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually taught us, and we are following him. But he said, what was before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where the mantra came, which Puran it came, and how old is the mantra, when it was given first time.
Kali Santaran Upanishad, I can take a photo shot and send it to you.
Okay.
And I don't mean to be in a controversy, but we should respect the devotees. Yes. I heard somebody says, no, it was Hare Krishna, and then it became Hare Rama, Mahaprabhu made it. And another say, no, it was originally Hare Rama, then it became Hare Krishna. But actually, original Kali Santaran Upanishad, I have a copy. And I have one good friend, Sanskrit scholar, who actually translated. So it is there originally Hare Rama. It is Mahaprabhu who made it, changed it, because only Brahmana could recite the Vedic mantra. So Mahaprabhu changed it. If somebody has a problem of saying, where is it? You can text me or WhatsApp, you can contact me. I'll send you the copy. Origin, Kali Santaran Upanishad has this.
All right, I will just WhatsApp you my address, and you can just send me back.
It's my American number. It's a 1-352-221-0041.
221-0041. 352-221-0041.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, can you also send it to us? I mean, we also should be knowing this.
If you want, sure.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What I can do, actually, I can just send one of you and then you can post it in the chat, or I don't know how it works, but something.
Yeah, please send it to Mataji, and then she can send it to all of us. That will be best.
Okay. Thank you. So some reflection, Koivalla Prabhu. One reflection.
Yes, sure. In the 11th, the last chapter, the last slok we read, so we see that there are so many learned scholars, and they have put forward so many philosophies that but sincere devotee actually can be helped with Krishna himself when we hear about Krishna and put Krishna in our heart. And the qualification is only like we have to adapt to Krishna consciousness properly, then we can understand that.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mother Shamala Gopika.
It is about...
Who is this? Who is speaking? Okay, Prabhu, yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. It was about verse 10. What I like was choosing Krishna is the one choice that empowers us to make better choices. And how to choose and how to choose Krishna, it is not easy. So by regularly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. If we lack somewhere, this will suffice. Thank you, Prabhu, for telling me.
That's good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and Mother Shamala Gopika, she wanted to say something.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my dandavats pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhu, for, as usual, the wonderful class. I like the part specifically when you talk about when we get the spiritual satisfaction. So we should not think that it is because of me. So we have to give the glories to our Guru Parampara. So in that way, we can advance in our spiritual life.
Very good. Wonderful. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
Subjective perception. It's coming down to help us. We are not achiever. Always we should think we are not achiever. We are receiver. Becoming receiver of the mercy of Guru Krishna. Achiever is for mundane way of motivation. Very good. Thank you. Okay,
So
then we'll close. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. You were the best teacher we had so far. Want to express our gratitude for that. And the point you made today, when you are tempted, think of Krishna and he will give you the intelligence to overcome the temptation. I think that is a very good thing. All of us should remember. Thank you.
It was wonderful that you remember. Please pray for me and bless me. Okay,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay. Sojanna Mata, yes.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One small reflection, like at the end, again, Krishna is assuring that you think of me like in your thoughts and in your actions. And in the next verse, he's saying, I will give you the intelligence. So we don't have to worry, oh, so what next? He's saying, you just come to me. That's it. It's such a great assurance again and again in this chapter. Every verse, he's like increasing that assurance verse by verse. It's an inspiration and we feel very happy. Thank you. And you're explaining again, making it so, yes, Prabhu, you're making it so easy for us just by reading the text and the purport. Honestly speaking, at least with me, I wouldn't have got that, oh, this is what like takeaway. You just read like any literal meaning and then you explain, oh, this is what Prabhupada is saying. But what about us? What's takeaway? And that you're making it so easy, like, they say peeling banana is so easy. It's like that. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We are fortunate for Krishna's arrangement, this one.
Just pray for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
so we can
Prabhuji.
end here. Mother, yes, Mother Nikunji Leela.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me opportunity to share my realization from today's class. My first realization is when we cannot be free from all the desires. So we should try to shift our desire, or we should learn to shift our desire from material desire to spiritual desire. So this is realization. And second one is submission and affection. It's all we need for our growth in bhakti or Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very good. So which one is more important, submission or affection first? Which one?
Submission, according
very
to
good answer. Very good answer. I'm very pleased. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhuji, can I ask a quick question? This is Sanjeev here, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We missed you yesterday. I'm sorry, you had a nice question. Was it yesterday or day before yesterday?
Day before, Prabhu. You asked, I think I got the answer through the purports of Prabhupada. And Prabhuji, I want to ask a question. Your conviction is so strong about the Bhagavad Gita, and your realizations are so strong. How did you develop this over a period of time? Is it by listening to the lectures or reading Bhagavad Gita again and again? So just trying to understand, how did you develop so strong conviction, Prabhuji? Thank you.
You asking about me?
Yes, Prabhuji. If you won't mind telling.
I mean, there's nothing secret. It's just that I really have a strong faith on Prabhupada now. Not necessarily I had always, I'm being honest to you. I respected him, I never doubted, but didn't have a strong faith that I want to be his eternal slave. I never want to ever forget his mercy. And I pray for it. And the mercy of all those devotees like you, that they are wishing good and their blessing. I think that affected. Just by my own, of course, I do try. It's not that I don't. I do try. I try to understand by your all mercy. And I think combination of two together happen. So that will be the take out, what I understand, that something I'm trying to grasp by their mercy. Thank you, Sanjeev Prabhu. So
Thank you,
I'll end
Prabhu.
here. Please accept my humble obeisances, all of you. Vancha kalpa taruvesya kripa sindhubhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.
Santaguri Vaishnavindra ki jai.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful session.